Right now at noon, a teen is in custody after a shooting in Sun Prairie. We'll tell you what we know. And the impeachment divide deepens, how it could impact the 2020 election.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for joining us. A teenager was taken into custody following a shooting in Sun Prairie last night. Officers with the Sun Prairie Police Department were sent to the Element apartment building around 10:30 p.m. Police say they found a 23-year-old man with a gunshot wound to his upper arm. He was taken to a hospital and listed as stable. The victim's 16-year-old brother was taken into custody during a traffic stop in Fond du Lac County. The teen is tentatively being charged with first-degree reckless endangering safety. Let's head to the Weather Center now. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast on this perfect fall day.
That's right. It's been a beautiful Wednesday. Plenty of sunshine out there, and soak that up because the clouds will certainly be on the way. Here's a live look outside right now. You can actually see some of that cloud cover high on the horizon. Temperature-wise, we're comfortable. 67 right now. Those winds coming out of the south and southeast at 16 miles per hour. Folks, that southerly wind will be keeping us warm all day long. Janesville has made it to 70. Boscobel has jumped to 70, and I think we'll even see a shot of going towards 70 here in Madison as well. Now, we look at visible cloud track. All of Wisconsin is underneath that sunshine right now, but pay attention to what's happening over parts of Iowa. That's where we're starting to see that cloud cover moving on in. That's a sign of things that are going to be changing up a little bit as we go through the week. So for this afternoon, we'll see mostly sunny skies. Temperatures will top out right around 71. But folks, in the upper air pattern, there's a blast of cold on the way for the weekend coming up in Maine weather, Mark. We're talking about what that means for us and what we can do about it.
All right, well, probably not much.
Exactly.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes, Chris. Thank you. A 72-year-old man was killed by his tractor after it tipped over and crushed him yesterday. The Sauk County Communications Center received a 911 call around 4 p.m. reporting a man pinned under a farm tractor on Jacoby Road in the township of Honey Creek. The name of the man has not been released. A massive search for human remains in a Northside Milwaukee backyard turned up nothing, but 2 people were arrested on animal cruelty charges after animal remains were found. From 9:30 a.m. until nearly 6 p.m., law enforcement searched a home near 24th Place and Glendale. Police condemned the house after the search. They said the debris in the backyard and inside made it unlivable. Former Congressman Sean Duffy's 9th child was born with Down syndrome and will require open-heart surgery in 3 to 4 months. Duffy's wife, Rachel Campos Duffy, posted on Facebook that their daughter, Valentina Stelamaris Duffy, was born with 2 holes in her heart that will require open-heart surgery as expected. Duffy resigned from Congress last month to spend more time with his family. There'll be a special election to replace Duffy in the 7th Congressional District, which includes northern, central, and northwest Wisconsin. Turkish forces are invading Syria, launching a military operation against Kurdish fighters. Turkey's president says the operation is aimed to eradicate, quote, the threat of terror against his country. The military offensive comes just days after President Trump abruptly withdrew U.S. troops from the region. A U.S. official confirms to CBS News that all U.S. troops are out of the area where the airstrikes are taking place. Republican lawmakers who have blasted the pullout of U.S. forces worry about the Kurdish fighters who have been a U.S. ally in battling ISIS.
I hope that Turkey, when they go into Syria, they won't slaughter the Kurds. And I will say this to the president: it would be hard to protect America without allies over there, and the Kurds have been good allies.
A spokesman for Kurdish-led forces say there is a huge panic among people in the region and appeal to the U.S. to protect them from Turkish attacks. President Trump is fighting back against the impeachment inquiry looking into his phone call with Ukraine's president. White House lawyers have officially declared they will not cooperate with the investigation. Nicole Killian has more details from the White House.
The Trump administration is objecting to a Democrat-led impeachment inquiry in the House. In a letter to top congressional Democrats, the president's White House counsel called the inquiry unconstitutional.
I think the American people have a profound sense of fairness, and I think that they know a sham investigation when they see it, and they know a kangaroo court when they see it.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi fired back in a statement saying, "Mr. President, you are not above the law. You will be held accountable."
The president is obstructing Congress from getting the facts that we need. That is an abuse of power for him to act in this way.
The president continues to label his rivals as do-nothing Democrats and says their total focus is the 2020 election.
Democrats have been pursuing impeachment from even before President Trump was sworn into office.
Democrats say it's the president who's focused on 2020.
This is one of the few impeachment inquiries in the history of our country. It goes to the core of whether the president abused his office to seek political help in his re-election campaign.
But both sides are using impeachment to raise money for the upcoming race.
They want to steal this one.
The Trump campaign has spent more than $700,000 on Facebook ads this week alone. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
House and Senate Republican committees are also putting the majority of their digital ad dollars behind impeachment. Well, 2 more prison terms in the college admissions cheating scandal. Gregory and Marcia Abbott were sentenced to 1 month behind bars. They paid $125,000 to have their daughter's ACT and SAT test scores boosted, hoping to improve her chances of getting into Duke. The Abbotts pleaded guilty earlier this year to conspiracy and commit fraud. Actress Felicity Huffman got a 2-week prison sentence for her role in the scheme. Well, if your commute takes you along US 14 and Humes Road in Janesville, you'll need to find an alternative route for tomorrow morning. Both lanes of US 14 will be closed from 7 p.m. until 6 a.m. tonight and tomorrow night as crews work to install steel girders for the northbound interstate bridge that'll go over the road. Green Bay Packers running back Aaron Jones has been named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Jones scored 4 touchdowns against the Cowboys in the Packers' victory on Sunday. He had 107 rushing yards as well as 8 catches for 75 yards. The Green Bay Packers will take on the Detroit Lions for first place in the NFC North on Monday Night Football. And there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Hay rides, apple picking, and pumpkin carving. It's a busy day in the test kitchen as we take a walk down memory lane. Fall means different things to different people, depending on where they grew up. I'm from upstate New York, where the fall includes lots of apple picking, hay rides down country roads, and a trip to a pumpkin patch to find just the right pumpkin. Whether you have similar memories or not, you can still enjoy the flavors of fall by whipping up a batch of our hayride pumpkin squares. We start by combining some flour, salt, baking powder and baking soda, cinnamon, and nutmeg. After it's mixed, in another large bowl, we beat together some canned pumpkin, eggs, a good amount of sugar, vegetable oil, and a splash of vanilla. Now we add our dry ingredients to this, mixing it until it's smooth. Then into a baking dish it goes before popping it in the oven. While this bakes, don't be surprised if your neighbors stop by to see what smells so darn good. You can bet they'll stick around for a piece or two. To get the recipe for what we call our hayride pumpkin squares, just head over to our website. Maybe put on your favorite flannel shirt to get you in the mood. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a sweet and cozy way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
All right, Howard, thank you. There's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, a sunny and mild Wednesday, but we could see cooler temperatures moving in. Meteorologist Chris Reese has your first alert forecast right after this. Our call for action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. And call the hotline. Volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number is 608-270-2833. The service is open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. The mood on Wall Street shifts, and Victoria's Secret rethinks the supermodel. Diane King Hall has more in today's Money Watch report.
Stocks moved higher in early trading as sentiment over U.S.-China trade relations reversed. According to a Bloomberg News report, China is ready to accept a partial trade deal, provided President Trump imposes no more tariffs. Another round of duties is set to kick in this month. American Airlines is extending the time it plans to keep Boeing 737 MAX jets off its schedule. The air carrier is pulling the troubled jet until mid-January. That is longer than any other U.S. airline. Federal regulators have not said when the jets will be safe to fly after 2 deadly crashes overseas. Meanwhile, Boeing announced yesterday that an unidentified buyer placed an order for a 737 MAX jet, its first order since April. And Victoria's Secret has debuted its first curvy model. Allie Tate Cutler is a size 14. She signed as part of Victoria's Secret new partnership with London-based lingerie brand Blue Bella. It's part of its continued push to be more inclusive. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Diane King Hall.
Thank you, Diane. At the noon hour, the Dow Industrial is up 180 points, the NASDAQ up 80, and the S&P 500 gaining 25. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yankee out of the radio barn today. She will be on live at 4 today, so until the meantime, here are your farm numbers. Time now for the weather. Chris Reese is here. We're going from dew points to wind chills.
That's right. Things are nice out there right now. Temperatures are in the 60s. We're going to be warming up into the 70s this afternoon, and dew points are into the low 40s. So the air is relatively dry. Of course, it's that nice fall kind of crisp in the air. Madison right now at 67, and the winds are coming out of the south and southeast at 16 miles per hour. As long as we see that strong southeasterly wind, temperatures are going to be warming up. Janesville is at 70 right now. Same for Boscobel. Mineral Point and Platteville both at 68. Prairie du Chien and La Crosse at 69. And we'll continue to watch these temperatures warm as we head into the afternoon. But Weather Track is showing something, especially as you look just towards the south and west. Here comes the cloud cover starting to sneak on in. Here's a wider view. You see more and more of that cloud cover starting to show up over the state of Iowa towards the south and west of Des Moines. You actually begin to notice at least one shower trying to pop on up. Now, our warmer weather has been brought to us thanks to high pressure over towards our east. The clockwise flow around that is bringing in a southerly wind flow that's tapping into some Gulf of Mexico moisture, but it also is keeping us just a little bit warmer. And here is a complex of some showers moving in towards Kansas City right now. We have a region of low pressure that's developing on the east side of the Rockies. Towards the north of that is where we'll find our colder air. In fact, we also see some snowflakes flying from Canada into parts of Montana and Wyoming. Well, that's the overall system that we're going to be watching. The rain chances are going to be on the increase. The snows are going to be on the increase as you work your way through parts of the Dakotas. And I'll be honest, I think the RPM is a little bit underdone with some of the snow that they could see, along with some of the rainfall that we could see. But watch the rain chances move in as we go through Thursday and into Friday as well. And then eventually, some of that colder air begins to catch up. In fact, RPM is picking up on the possibility of seeing some of the first flurries of the season as you work your way towards the north and west. But all of that cooler air, that's going to be diving into the upper Midwest as we go into the weekend. So that's something you'll want to be prepared for. We're already watching this colder air starting to dive in to the Pacific Northwest. Watch what happens as we put this into motion. By Friday night into Saturday morning, the core of that cold likely settles in over parts of Wisconsin, Minnesota, and in towards the Great Lakes. And then it's going to stick around for a couple of days. So here we are on Monday, and then even Tuesday, things are going to remain chilly. It's not until the middle of next week that we'll really start to see some of that milder air beginning to build back in before perhaps another shot of some cooler air by next weekend. But here is what this means for us. Things are going to be very windy as this cold front comes in. So it's not just the cooler temperatures that I think are going to stay above freezing. You factor in 15 to 30 mile per hour winds, and the weekend becomes a little bit raw. So here's the wind chill Friday morning, right around 60. But by the time we get you towards those games Friday night, wind chills will likely be into the lower 30s. They continue to drop. By Saturday morning at 8:30, we could see wind chills into the lower 20s and upper teens. So you will want a jacket headed into the weekend. In fact, Saturday afternoon, it's possible that wind chills are staying into the mid 30s, and your overnight lows will drop down into the mid 30s. So it's possible to see some patchy frost. I'm not sure we're going to see the freeze just yet, but we'll watch that closely because October 1st through 10th is normally when we see that first freeze around here. But in the meantime, be prepared for that rain Thursday into Friday, and then blustery conditions this weekend. Temperatures will top out into the mid 40s for those highs. If we get more cloud cover, we may have to adjust those numbers down just a tad bit. We'll watch that. But in the meantime, we'll return to the 50s and 60s next week with abundant sunshine.
Just get through the weekend.
Through the weekend.
All right, Chris, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at noon, why a homeless woman in Los Angeles is going viral. We'll share her story after a short break. Well, a homeless subway opera singer that captured the nation's attention last week is now performing on a big stage. Her angelic voice went viral after an LAPD officer posted a video of her on social media. In a matter of days, her life has completely changed. Nick Watt reports.
She's been singing in LA subway for years.
This is the only one thing I got left.
A chance meeting just changed her life.
I see this police officer walking towards me from a distance, and kind of hesitated me because you know how they are. They don't really want you to make any nuisance there anywhere, and opera is loud.
He loved it, filmed it, the department posted it. More than 1 million people saw it, and a little more than a week later, Emily Zamorka got her first gig.
They're gonna pay me, and pay me very well, for me performing. Who am I? Who am I?
On Saturday, she sang in San Pedro's Little Italy, earned $700.
I wish I could give hugs to each and every one.
Zamorka, a trained violinist, came here from Russia in her 20s. Illness, medical bills, the theft of her beloved violin all led to a life on the streets. A homeless charity has now reached out to help, and $60,000 and counting donated on GoFundMe. She just met, hugged, and thanked that LAPD officer who filmed her.
I can't believe this is happening.
And a Grammy-winning producer now wants to work with her.
The biggest ever, what's the opposite word for tragedy? I mean, because I wanted to bring that word correctly.
We have some people saying, this story is too good to be true. You look too clean.
This is for real, and just because you're homeless, you don't have to go around stinky and dirty. I would just put it this way. It's my dignity.
What do you want? I mean, you want somewhere to live?
Yes, I do, and I do. I wish that I could just have this kind of place that it will be for a long time on my own.
That voice, all she had left, might now make that wish come true. Nick Watt, CNN, Los Angeles.
Remarkable story, remarkable voice, and remarkable weather today, Chris.
That's right. Plenty of sunshine out there. We're going to see those temperatures above average into the low 70s for those highs. So enjoy that. Clouds will be on the increase into tomorrow. We'll see those temperatures coming down by the weekend as well, with rain chances all the way through Saturday afternoon.
All right, that's our time for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here at 4. Have a great afternoon.